Hi, I'm Jessie. I'm the founder of Delegated Task and also the host of the Delegated Task Podcast. I believe that everybody has their own set of unique talents, skills, and experiences that make them unique. And today I'm highlighting Andrew Stone, who is a videographer, photo maker, who is based in the Fargo-Moorhead area with a passion for telling stories through visuals. For the past 8 years, he's been helping businesses build trust with their audience and drive more sales through photo and video content. His mission is simple: help businesses grow into thriving brands through video and photo. And today I have the question of, why is video content so important for businesses? And what is the value there? Because there's so much power to video, especially when it comes to storytelling. That's what we'll be chatting through today. Thank you so
Love
much
it.
for being on the podcast, Andrew.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
It's gonna be good.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's dive into it.
Andrew, can you give us your backstory and your rise to fame?
To fame. I wouldn't say that.
Well, I tell everybody that their
It's fun.
story to getting where they're at today is their rise to fame. So.
Let's go. From here, from the Fargo-Moorhead area, I did 1 year of college at MSUM. I was studying graphic design actually. So I've always had an eye for like design. I was the kid to have like binders full of just drawings, illustrations. I literally have binders still at home. I could find these drawings. So I've always been like a creative kid. I was a kid to draw on my tests. I'd be in church drawing on the bulletin, like always like had that itch to create something. And yeah, so I figured I should just do like graphic design. It made sense. Long story short, dropped out of college after a year, was interested in photography. My dad was doing photography on the side on top of his job, and he would bring me on set to help with like lighting and stuff and gear. And being a good dad, he saw and knew I had a creative gift, that eye for color and for light, and I really enjoyed that process of photography. So he had asked me one day, like, do you ever think of buying a camera? I was like, no. And so I thought about it for a little while, and I decided, yeah, I want to buy a camera. So I started saving up for one. He bought me the camera I was saving up for, and that was 2017. And it's cool to look back. What's it, 2026? So 9 years ago, I've ran with it, and now doing video and photo production here in Fargo. In between that time though, I kind of got into doing like a whole bunch of free stuff. I just like really enjoyed doing portraits of people, like environmental portraits, senior portraits, families, weddings, couples. I did one maternity shoot. Probably will never do that again. It's not for me. I did a whole bunch of stuff, commercial stuff, restaurants. Late 2018, I believe, or 2019, something like that. I think it was 2019. I did my first video project and didn't really know what I was doing, but it's like, well, I got to learn somehow. So I remember having like 100 YouTube tabs pulled open, just trying to figure out like, how in the world do I do lighting? What gear do I buy? There's so many options. There's so much information out there. Trying to figure it out. And honestly, it went pretty well. It wasn't too bad, but yeah, that was my intro into video. And then 2020, COVID, I felt like ages ago. I was unemployed, living at my parents'. At the time, I had just after that, I had started a company with my friend. We did like a lot of like social media content, like video shorts, that kind of thing, for small to mid-sized businesses. And we were like barely staying afloat during the pandemic. And then after COVID, that company merged with another company in town and formed Trendsy. So it was a TikTok marketing agency.
Oh, cool.
So
Yeah.
did TikTok marketing. Never thought I'd be doing that. It was like mass producing and like 100, 120 iPhone TikTok videos a month for a lot of direct-to-consumer brands. So like Olipop,
Nice.
Everman Jack, Athletic Brewing. It was really fun. Like
and just
really
to
fun
clear,
clients.
like you made content for
those-
Olipop, Everyman Jack. That is
Yeah, just so
that is
fun.
huge. Yeah,
It was
that is
fun.
awesome.
And they were like, just when they were starting off, and we
Yeah.
would get to do calls with them, strategy calls, planning out the shoots and stuff like that. And so that was fun. A lot of figuring stuff out. I learned a lot, didn't make a lot, and like really love the people I worked with, and I'm still really well connected with those people. And so that was a ride. I was a part co-owner too, and ended up leaving the company. It naturally just kind of disbanded, parted ways. And all during that time, I'd been doing my own freelance stuff. And so I feel like around that time, I was able to get a lot of experience trying different things and, figuring out what do I like, what don't I like, saying yes to a lot of things just to try it. Like, do I like this? So I came to figure out I don't want to do TikTok marketing for the rest of my life. I'm glad I did, because I learned how to like be really scrappy, be really, really efficient. I can shoot stuff on iPhone. I can shoot stuff on a professional camera. formatted for like social media, like Reels, TikTok, that kind of thing. And yeah, 2021 hit, and I was like, I need to niche down. So I did like a mentorship program, and like, man, I really want to niche down into health, wellness, fitness brands. So doing a lot of photo and video content for brands. And I found myself gravitating towards like healthy beverage brands. It's very specific, huge market, Olipop, like I said, not doing my own stuff for them, but
Yeah.
brands like that, which I really enjoy, and learned a lot, and found that the bottleneck in Fargo was just like, weather. It was just hard because a lot of brands wanted to shoot warm outdoor lifestyle content. And they're like, hey, we got these new product line. We need photos and video for all of this new line. When can you shoot this in like 2 months in April? And I'm like, or March. I'm like, yo, it's probably still gonna be snowy. You're not gonna get green until like end of May, June. That was really tough. And then I learned a lot doing that. And then the past like year and a half, I've been really trying to reinvest into the Fargo network, born and raised here. And yeah, really wanting to, in the day, like, I love people, love telling their stories. There's a lot of people that, a lot of locals aren't even aware of like businesses and brands that I think need more recognition, and people need to know about them. And so I'm excited to see what the future holds and the stories I can tell, the people I can meet, impact we can create through video and photo. Really just trying to help others communicate,
Yeah.
advocate for brands. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
That is
it's the journey.
yeah, that's great to hear your story. When it comes to telling that brand story when they come to you without much direction, what does that creative process look like from start
Hmm.
to strategizing to the final
Yeah.
deliverables?
Mm. Let's just give a hypothetical. So like,
Yeah, absolutely.
this is a little like code educational moment. Some people listening might already know what this is, but
Yeah.
the term brand film, some people might say like about us video, there's different terms, but let's just like brand film is a foundational piece of a video marketing asset for your brand. So think of it as it's really like encompassing who you are, what you do, why it matters. It's a more of an emotive piece. So there's a lot of emotions. We're featuring real people in there. It's going to tug on people's heartstrings. There'll be a call to action. It'll give people a really good understanding of like, what are you about? They'll get the why. It's not just like, here's what we do, cut and dry, like a brochure. It's like, we're going to show that they'll be feeling, we're going to hear from happy clients, usually within like a 2 to 5 minute video, usually not like 3 minutes. So this is like lives on your banner, like website, landing page,
Like under the who we
under who
are
are.
part
Yeah.
of your, yeah.
These videos do super well too for a lot of like nonprofits that are trying to raise money. They show them at a gala or a banquet, and
Yeah.
like it has an impact. Like, just think of like films you've watched that like tug on the heartstrings. You're like, oh my gosh, you cry, you whatever. There's some emotion that it evokes, and that is just a staple, foundational piece that I feel like as a business you can build off of. It sets the tone for your voice, and so we're going to use that as an example. And so someone wants that. Typically, and just in general, high level, we have discovery. So I'm going to sit down with them, ask them a lot of questions. I'll let them know, hey, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. Here's why. I really want to understand, make sure I know and understand who you are. And like I said, what your problems are, what you're trying to achieve, what your goals are, what you're trying to communicate to your audience, who your audience is. So like, I want to understand these things. Like, I'm trying to get into their brain. I want to be, what I tell people is like an extension of their brand. I'm not just like the vendor or contractor. You just say, hey, shoot this video. I'm gonna really try to integrate myself and work with you and collaborate. You're gonna be really happy with the experience and the product. And you'll feel like this video perfectly represents your brand. And so discover, come up with the plan based off of that. We'll sign contract, proposal, get going, and then start fleshing out that our idea, our concept more pre-production. So we're storyboarding, or we're making shot lists, script, location scouting. There might be a few locations we got to visit. There might be interviews we're going to set up with people. So there's some overlap there. And I tell my clients, like, I value good communication, prompt communication, honesty, like good feedback. It's like, let's just be real. If the idea is bad, just like, hey, let me know, or I'll let you know. I think it's a bad idea. And so we'll communicate, we'll collaborate, come up with the plan, and then shoot day, which is the most fun. So most of the heavy lifting is done in pre-production. And I think that's why a lot of people can get disappointed with video marketing in general, when people just, number one, aren't walked through a process, aren't asked a lot of good questions, then don't have clear expectations, and then they're bummed at the result because they weren't like guided through that. So I'm trying to help like consult and guide people through that process so they can know what to expect, and there's nothing like surprising to them, and then we can go above and beyond what they expected. Shoot day, super fun. We'll shoot, do the thing, and then post-production just always depends on the size of the project, how long of a turnaround, but I'll be the one chopping up the video, piecing it together, color grading, doing all the fun touches, and usually have a couple rounds of revisions. Just once again, collaboration, feedback, like, hey, let's talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it before we even start project, just so there's expectations on revisions and kind of how that post-production process works. So nothing's confusing and we're not just like scrambling. And I don't want to have 400 eyes on the video. Like, hey, let's decide who are the feedback people. So it's not just going back and forth with people so that everyone's happy. And then we deliver video and review it. I'm always, especially if it's a first project, I'm not just going to say, here's your video, bye. I'll check in. I'm going to follow back up. I'll give you some time and then check back in. And my goal, like I mentioned before, is to be a content partner, to be an extension of said brand, to grow and scale with them. So I'm always valuing long-term relationship, if that's what people want. I won't turn down a project if you don't want to work long-term, but it's like, that's kind of the next step, is like, hey, we keep doing projects, we can keep working and grow together. So
it's kind of like, it's nice when you have like a go-to person for any service. Like if anybody goes and gets their hair done, it's great to have somebody that knows your preferences, knows what your goals are already, because then for the next project, you can hit the ground running and it'll be even better.
Oh yeah.
If you were to go and find another one for every single
So
project.
stressful. I mean, I'm thinking of my barber. You know, I give so many examples. Am I the best videographer in town? No, I don't. No, like I don't know. In the world, no.
Too, yeah.
And it's all objective, and it's like, it's relationship. Like, is my barber the best barber in town? I don't know. No, yes. Who cares? I don't know. I don't care, but I know him and I like talking to him. He does a good job.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't want to. Why would I try to find a new person? And I get it. We're talking a $35, $40, $50 haircut versus 3,000, 5,000, whatever, a huge investment. It's like, okay, there's more weight to that. We don't just willy-nilly say, oh, I'm going to work with this person. I understand the weight of deciding something like that to invest in, but it's the same principle. So I'm always looking for those people who value relationship and want to grow long-term. So
yeah, absolutely. Let's say I'm a business owner and I have a project that needs to get done. Why should I hire a videographer instead of just throwing it at a team member who's already burnt out and already has a ton on their plate? Why should I go professional?
It's a great question. Should I just let the people watch and think about them, like, why would you do that? Sounds awful. Just like putting more stress and then, like not a great time.
Yeah.
But I'm going to actually, I made a list kind of like comparing, contrasting, pro videography, creative strategist versus just in-house member, like throwing it at them, say, hey, do this. And they already have enough on their plate.
Yeah.
This is very real. You've experienced it. I've experienced it in talking with people. And I can see I can hear it and see it and feel the pain and the stress and the person trying to coordinate events and do marketing and post and create the content. And they're just like, and they can maybe capture some footage and have it on their camera roll and it's all unorganized and they're stressed. And it's like, okay.
Oh, just a quick note too. There are some things that your team members can do, but the scope is incredibly limited. Like, let's say you want a photo of an event, like maybe you get a candid photo. Maybe you ask your team members, take at least one candid photo of this event, take some quick like video panning of the event. I'm just using event as an example, but there's like little tiny asks that you can do, but the scope isn't as big as an actual project, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it would be a means of like defining that role for that team member too, or bringing someone on to like call it an intern, or just like, hey, 10 hours a week, having a defined role, which is something like I'm even willing to like suggest options for people. Like, hey, maybe you could, here's a way to communicate to said member, like here's clear roles, here's what that could look like, because it's stuff I can do and I've done myself, so that they're not just saying, hey, make videos, and they're like, what does that mean? And they're frustrated that they're not getting the results they want. There's no clear expectation. What does that mean? Create videos. It's ambiguous. And so I would say I'm going to go through a list. I have like different categories, and then comparing, contrasting a professional versus just in-house team member. So
Awesome.
category expertise. So obviously a professional they're trained, they have years, anywhere, who knows, for 3 years to 30 years of experience, and like that matters. That's very valuable. That's like, we all know that when we work with someone who's been in the game for like 30 years, you feel safe. You're like, they've seen just about everything, versus a newbie who doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So same thing, like the in-house person, probably they don't have a lot of experience. They're kind of like a jack of all trades. They might know a bit of content. Usually it's like they're younger. They know how to make content, but once again, not a lot of clarity. There's not gonna be a lot of organization, confidence in that.
I give the example, in my startup speech, I gave the example of a realtor. I saw a realtor who was spending 3 hours in Canva to create one graphic. And then I looked at that and I was like, the 3 hours that you were spending in Canva, like, you can learn Canva, that's a skill you can learn, but you're not interested in Canva. You are like a top producing realtor. You should be focused on selling houses because that's when your skills will serve you the best. To learn that new skill of Canva takes so much more time than you realize. Like, it took you 3 hours to create a graphic that a professional could have made in 30 minutes to an hour, essentially.
Yeah, it's like me with graphic design in the past. When I first started, I was definitely, it's like a classic creative. Like, I could do it. I have an eye for design, but I used to be like, yeah, I can do that. And now I'm just like, I have a boundary. I'm like, no, and I'm confident in that. Like, I'm going to refer you to Joe over here, whatever, who does a great job at design. He's going to walk you through his process. You'll feel a lot more confident. And I'm like, why would I kid myself? Like, I'm not confident, and it's not normal for me. I would have to go on YouTube and say, I would be typing in how to da-da-da in Illustrator, how to do this, and like BS it. And I'm going to spend like 20 hours on a project that would take my buddy Joe 2 hours. It's just like, time is money. It's like not worth it. So outsource it. Like, this is encouragement for business owners. Like, just outsource it. You could give so many examples. Just outsource it, and start small too. You don't have to like completely overturn everything and hire someone to do everything. And do something small, test it, and then grow, review, and grow. Hopefully to the point where you can be the realtor who's just focusing on what you do best, not trying to be a graphic designer in Canva.
Absolutely. Because if you're a top producing realtor in Fargo, it's like you make, like, let's say you make $8,000 a month, and then you're selling one house for that $8,000. And then per hour, that's about $40 an hour, if my math is correct.
That sounds right.
And then when you spend 3 hours on the Canva graphic, that's about like $130, like in that area.
Another example too is like, take it with a grain of salt. It depends on your needs, but professional has professional gear, high quality, like camera, audio, lighting, all that stuff, versus in-house person. They got on the smartphone, which is great. We love high quality smartphones nowadays. They do amazing. They might have like a ring light. Hey, these mics are great. Like, you can get away with a lot, but it's not just that. It's like the expertise on how to use them. Usually people try to do their own content and like, they just don't know how to use it. Like, I could use that really cheap gear and get a lot more out of it because the expertise. It's just like, what do you expect? Same thing with audio too. You're going to get people who know, professional, understands how to bounce levels and get really clean, crisp audios, versus someone in-house, once again. And audio is half of the visual experience, actually. You get bad audio, it just, I don't want to watch the video. It's just cringe. It kills it. So that's another example too. Another one I think too is storytelling. So once again, this is all subjective. This is not everyone's experience, but you're going to get, with a pro, you're going to get someone who's very strategic and intentional, a lot more thoughtful, planned out. Like, we're going to go deep and ask a lot of why questions, why, versus maybe a team member that it might be more reactionary and like, oh, this would be cool. Let's just shoot this. Let's do this and this and this. It can become aimless if there's another thing on their plate. They're just reacting, versus someone who does it full time. They can be proactive, really intentional, have a clear plan, be confident, and then you can be confident that you're spending your dollars wisely too, with an intention, not just make something to fill a role. Editing too, it's the same thing. There's, once again, like, professional has access to professional editing, which you can get away with a lot of simple tools on your phone. And there's so many free editing apps, which are great. But once again, it's just the expertise of knowing how to edit, to cut stuff, to color grade, and edit the audio, bounce levels, and all that stuff. A lot of nitty gritty stuff that is for a whole different podcast.
Yeah,
And
when it
yeah,
comes to video, it's not just hiring somebody to come and shoot on their fancy camera. It's there's audio you have to worry about. There's lighting you have to worry about. Those are like the two biggest things. Like if
yeah,
you probably could shoot an incredible video with an iPhone and just
yeah,
really good lighting, really good audio. And then it's also the post production,
yeah.
which gets so tedious. Like when you're taking raw video, I don't think people realize how much processing there is and how much strategy it takes
Mm,
to edit that video in a way that makes sense because you're
yeah.
like, half of the storytelling kind of comes from the editing.
Editing, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
100%. That's the thing. Like, it's you're paying for someone who, yeah, a lot more. There's just usually a lot more intentionality when you've produced a lot of videos. You understand what goes into it, and so that's why there's going to be a lot more work, maybe work up front when you're working with a professional. I think a big difference to kind of like wrap this little question up is like I'd written it down. In essence, with a professional, you're going to get higher upfront investment and even like time. They might feel like, why are there so many questions? Why is there so much like onboarding? But the payoff is so worth it at the end versus hiring an in-house person. Typically, it's going to be a lot lower cost, but higher time investment and more back and forth and revisions and frustration because expectations weren't met. So that's the trade-off. And I would, if I were a business owner, I'd way rather have option A, hire the professional, do it right the first time. But a lot of people do have to just learn from their mistakes and be like, let's not do that again, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's someone who understands what they're doing. You know, you could give so many examples of like hiring a friend who just watched one video on how to do plumbing. It's like, I can do it. I'm like, I'm not going to hire you, bro. And he's like, oh, $50 versus like paying a professional $500. I'm like, I'm going to pay the
Yeah.
pro because my pipe is probably going to burst because if I pay the $50 guy and then it's going to be $5,000 of water damage versus
Yeah.
just pay the guy $500 and he'll do it. You won't have to worry about it. Like he knows what he's doing. It's the same thing.
Absolutely. And I think that the expectations when it comes to doing it in-house versus like a professional is also skewed. Like you have to keep in mind like expectations, the end deliverables, and the scope of the project too.
Yeah.
Like expectations when it comes to creative work are like they're so out of, especially
Mm-hmm.
when you're on the internet all day and you
Yeah.
see all of this well-produced
Yeah.
work and you don't know like how much work goes into that behind the scenes, or you see the AI generated stuff.
Yeah. Slop.
And it's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you'll see like there's like hairstylists in town. I'm gonna keep going back to hairstylists that
Hairstyles. Okay.
they'll get like these reference photos that are AI generated.
Yeah.
It's like I can't do
I
I
can't
can't
do-
do that, or that's gonna be $1,000. You know.
Yeah, and it's just unrealistic expectations of like cookie cutter, overly polished stuff. You're like, bro, no one's hair looks that good.
Yeah.
That's not possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, or with the budget and
Yeah,
idea that you had
exactly.
in mind.
I'm like positioning myself not just as like, I just shoot videos. I'm just a videographer, like no video and photo production and creative strategy. So actually like what the creative strategy, like I could list like, here's like 15 things that this implies that, and then this is what it's going to get you. And a lot of it is the peace of mind,
Yeah.
the saving stress, wondering if it's going to work, you know, because that's the thing. I think a lot of people too often will hire an agency they charge agency fees because they have all these people on their team. They need to pay the team, but oftentimes the client is just like a number in their system, and they give them like a very cookie cutter, like just a package. Like, hey, I'm going to prescribe you this before really getting to know you, diagnosing like, what do I think you need? And oftentimes clients get burned, and then they come to me and I'll ask them like, have you worked with other creative partners, videographers, agencies, yada, yada. And that's a classic one that I feel like people get burned by. So they're walking on eggshells. They feel like they're walking on eggshells and usually hesitant to invest in that. And so then they might revert back to like, we'll just do it ourselves. And then they're just equally as stressed and frustrated in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get that. It's all trust. It's like committing to any partnership is going to be like, it's a bit of a risk. It takes a bit of faith. Just like dating someone, it's like, you don't know this person at all. You're interested, but you're like, oh, okay. And then you're like, you're getting close to like, man, I think I want to marry them. That's a huge cost. It's a huge commitment to your whole life. You're just like, so there's a similarity to that. Like, okay, do I really want to invest in this? Do I want to invest long-term, commit to this? It's going to cost me, but for you have to be like, is it worth it? Is it worth it for us? And I think that's a big thing. And I know like when I work with like my financial advisors and my tax guy, like I could try to work my way through taxes. I've tried for years, but I got to that point of such frustration and discontentment where I'm like, yeah, I could save money, but at this point, like kind of like time is money, and I would pay for the peace of mind, the trusted person who's also been a photographer and understands my industry. And so I'm like, I'm gonna pay you money to do it. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, man, if you can find that person. So I want to be that person for people, but the people that really do want to invest, like have that vision and have big problems they want to solve, and are like actually value content. Yep,
Yeah. And also when it
that's a huge
comes to
thing.
like finding the right person for you, like if you're a brand that doesn't have any sort of strategy, you need to be seeking out a person that does the strategy
Yeah,
part of it. And that's going to be more expensive, but you're going to like that extra cost is going to like be so valuable. Like
yeah,
if you're just running with anybody and they're not doing any sort of strategy,
mm-hmm.
it's just like you're throwing spaghetti at a wall
Yeah,
and you're burning money. It doesn't make sense.
yeah. That's the thing. Like I'm okay to very happy to educate people, but there is kind of like there has to be enough of a aligned like values and mission and goals, because it's like then if there isn't an alignment enough of an alignment, then you're just like trying to drag someone through the mud, and then it feels like you're like manipulating them and trying to get their money. It's weird, and it's like you just kind of learn to ask good questions to see, like, you ask enough questions, you kind of interrogate them in a way kindly to be like, okay, I don't think we're going to be a good fit at all. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like discovery call, clarity call, whatever you want to call it, to really understand the person and not trying to just get money out of someone and be like, oh, I know the business has a lot of money, I could probably make them these videos, but it's like you don't even know that. You haven't even taken time to just listen and understand who they are, what they want, how this could actually help them, and if they're even in a place from like a timeline perspective, if they're even ready to invest in video or photo marketing. Some people
Yeah.
just need to figure out other stuff first, I think.
Yeah.
Figure out their why, their message, their messaging, their copy for stuff, and then everything will follow in suit. Then then it's like you're actually leading with strategy and it's intentional. You know why you're investing in this certain piece of this type of content versus, like you said, throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's like,
Yeah.
I think we should have this video. And be like, why? I'll just like ask people, why? Why do you think? What's that gonna do for you? What will that you're gonna feel when you have that? What's it gonna get for you? What's it gonna solve? And some people just don't know. So I feel like that's half of what I do, is just consulting people.
Yeah.
I wish I could just make videos all day.
Yeah.
That's what I love to do. But a lot of it is like asking a lot of questions, trying to understand, then seeing if there's a need. If there is a need and they value it, like, sweet,
Yeah.
work together.
So, as the head of a production studio, what does your day to day operations look like? How do you delegate some of that work and how do you focus on what you actually want to focus on?
Yeah, it's just me. I don't have a massive team of people. I do
Yeah.
hire out contractors based on the project, but I'd say, long answer short, not every day is the same, but I've been trying to, on Fridays, plan out my week. And I have some anchors in the week that are pretty much consistent, that are flexible, but they're pretty set in stone. So time blocking, and a lot of people talk about
Yeah.
that. It's nothing revolutionary, but just having, usually for me, it's like 2 hour, 3 hour chunks of time to just do focus work. So Mondays usually are devoted to editing, but sometimes shooting my own content, but a lot of like creative, just like I can focus. I'm not doing tons of emails and calls. Tuesday, Thursday mornings, I have open to do in-person meetings or virtual if need be. Usually if I'm going to do in-person meetings Tuesday, Thursday, while I'm here at Brewhalla. So if anyone wants to meet, grab coffee. Coffee's on me.
Yeah.
Wednesdays as well. Fridays too. It's flexible, but Fridays I'm usually a little bit more chill. I try to give myself some time during the week to do more like leisure editing. I love editing. Some people hate it, but for me it's fun. So I
Yeah.
shoot my own just like fun stuff. I'm documenting my little daughter, life and stuff like that. And so that's fun for me to do that. Do fun design stuff in Canva for my brand. So kind of giving myself room to have a fun, low pressure creative block has been really, really, really helpful. And Thursdays, that's another anchor, I would say. Thursday morning, I give myself 2.5, 3 hours to schedule out content, social media content, usually for LinkedIn for the following week,
Yeah.
and do some email marketing stuff like newsletter. So working on that, and those are like consistent things for me. It's typical. Then obviously shoot days. I'm not shooting every week, so on top shoots can be more flexible. I don't necessarily have like a set day.
Yeah.
Typical
That's
flow
awesome.
works for me. It doesn't work for everyone. Everyone has their own reason for their workflow and process, but it works for me.
Yeah, when it comes to the editing blocks, that I feel like that's so important because whenever,
Yeah.
like, I totally get that when I start editing, like, the clock just like is like you
Get
just get
locked in.
lost and just
Yep.
locked in, and you kind of forget about everything else that you have to do. So that's kind of good to have that time block. Maybe I need to start doing that. I've started
Yeah.
to recently just plan out my week because my schedule has kind of been like all over the
Yep.
place until very recently, and then
Go.
I like using like Trello to keep
Yeah, yeah.
keep up with all the due dates and stuff. What tools do you use to keep track of everything?
Yeah, I've tried a lot. I'd used Trello way back when 2019. There's
Yeah.
a lot of them. I currently Google Calendar. I love it just because it's simple. I like it because you send an invite, the call link is on there. I don't have to put a
Yeah.
Zoom link. I don't know. So I use Google Calendar for scheduling stuff. Notion.
Just started using Notion. Yeah.
It's good for, I mean, there's a lot you can do with it. You could build it out to be a CRM. You can,
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch very customizable. And then I use another software called Milanote. A lot of like filmmakers use it. So it's great for visual storyboarding. So I'll really bring a lot of like pre-production in there, and it's engaging with the clients to where they can even do like checklists like, hey, I need you to do these things. So Milanote's a very good visual board. And yeah, I think those are the three main ones. And I feel like I'm always tweaking how that process is, how they all interact. I always want it to be as simple as possible. I feel like when it's still hard to find that one tool that does it all. I know that people try to do that, but usually there's like one thing in there that I'm like, it's a deal breaker. So I end up using multiple. So that's been working well for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then when it comes to delegating, you use independent contractors for different projects. What does that look like?
Yeah. So depending on the project, I would say most of the time by default, I'll have someone else on set. So let's say we're doing a brand film and it's a 1-2 day shoot. Typically we'll have someone, at least one person on set, just kind of a general assistant to help. They might help with lighting. They might man audio in the interview. So I run pretty lean. I'm not doing like massive scale productions where I need like 10 plus people on a team. So it's usually another person, sometimes 2 people. If I'm doing like a brand photo shoot where we have a lot of props and we need some like more styling and wardrobe, if my wife can have the in-laws watch baby, I always love bringing wife on. Was an event planner, very organized, creative, loves being a part of that process. So she was like steaming the clothes and helping with snacks and stuff like that. And that's just super helpful to have. It's very underrated, but having someone to do that, so then I can focus just on operating camera, and then I can have someone helping out with like light and audio. That makes a huge difference because I've tried to do it all in the past, and it's a nightmare. Multitasking is not a thing. You can't.
Yeah.
Then the end result, the product is not good. Things slip your brain. I'm not Superman. I can't remember everything. So that's why it's super important to delegate. And I love that that's your business too. And you brought that up because that's a hard one for business owners to let go of that control. To be like, I'm going to delegate it. I'm going to pay extra money. I'm going to invest. But in the long run, it's so worth it. And that's, like we said to other business owners who want to invest in video, it's the same thing. Maybe you're trying to do it yourself. You got to just pry your hands up and let go of control. And it might be slow at first, and we're not forcing people to do it, but I just know it's worth it. In that example too, just letting go and let others pay someone to do a better job than you, so you can do your thing really well, and then we're all happy and everyone wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because when you're able to just focus on, because I always give the example of you need to be working on your business and not in your business.
I'm just in it, yeah.
You're not going to grow your business if you hate doing what you do every single day.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only do it so long. I think that's the big thing with delegating is like something I need to do again, but I've tried to do it yearly is like literally do a massive brain dump of everything you do. Just think through every task you do, and you will realize it is insane if you're one person, one man band.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, everything you do. And then just start. I love going, okay, now out of all of these things, we could just categorize it red, yellow, green. Red being, I hate it. Yellow, I can do it. Green is, I love it,
Yeah.
And you could even categorize it then by like, then what am I even good at? You can like things that you're not good at, and you can break it down. You can use ChatGPT to help organize all of this, and then figure out like, okay, what's my sweet spot? What do I thrive doing? And focus more on that. There's going to be yellow things that you're like, I just got to do it, but it's not draining and just sucking the life out of you. The ones that suck the life out of you, don't feel bad. You don't need to be Superman. Just like, those are the ones you go delegate. Who can I figure out? And some you do have to do for a while because it's like, that's going to cost a lot of money. I literally don't have the money.
Yeah.
That's how you got to be scrappy at first, but when you can, I would say like do it, outsource that stuff, so you're not just doing tedious work that frustrates the living daylights out of you, and so you're spending all your time doing that, and then you're like, I don't even want to shoot, and that's what I love to do. I've had that where it's like I'm so tired, I don't even care about this now, and you're just frustrated. So delegate, delegate,
Yeah,
delegate. Yes.
absolutely. And then when it comes to actually figuring out if something can be delegated, it's like if it doesn't require your specific skills, if you can easily train
Yeah.
somebody to do it, and also calculating how much you make on the back end per hour is so important.
Huge.
Or
Yeah.
at least what is my time worth? Let's
Yeah.
say your time is worth $100 an hour, just to give you an idea. Then you have a baseline of how much can I afford to delegate? Like
Yeah.
then you look
100%.
at like you're doing data entry, and then you
Yep.
find somebody who does it for 20 bucks an hour.
Like
I can
sick.
do that because if you were to
100%.
do it, it'd be 100 bucks an hour.
Calculating the term is effective hourly rate, EHR.
Yeah.
And there's fun tools to do it. I've done this too, and yeah, you calculate it. You do enough data of like, okay, over the course of a year, here's how much I'm making, and maybe you want it to be higher. Yeah, then you can look through that list of things that you're like, I should delegate. Let's just say editing long. This is something I'm looking into. Editing long form content. Like I can do it, but
Yeah.
it's just like mind numbing, and I want to use my brain power elsewhere to do more of like the brand films and very like creative storytelling. So it's like I'm gonna hire someone who could do it for, yeah, it's just 25 an hour when my time is worth 150-ish. It's like, yeah, I should just outsource it. Then I can use that time back to reach more people or whatever, fill in the blank that I think is going to be more valuable, help move the needle forward,
Yeah.
so that I can use my skill set, do that more to help either more people, or I would say for me, it's not more people. It's like be able to go deeper, more intentional with few people. That's kind of the heart of it
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
serving people.
What stage of the marketing process should a company like evaluate? Am I ready for video marketing? When are they ready?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, and I might, if I feel like if Mackenzie were here, maybe you'd have better terms, but like working with people like you or Mackenzie, people that handle more, do more like, I guess like holistic, like they're more broad. Like, hey, we're gonna cover your brand, we're help build your brand, your why, your guidelines, all these things. Are gonna build out a website, do some content marketing. I'm more like specialized in video photo production, but I still understand how that works and coming to understand more. And so I would say it's just there's no rocket science. It's like, okay, why are you doing what you're doing? Like making sure you have your why. Then like who are you serving? And then you dive into like, okay, what are their pain points? Why does it matter that you make videos, you know? So understanding your audience and then what they're like, their problems are. You can go really deep into that. Like I think isn't the term like there's demographic and the psychographic.
Yeah.
You can get into like what do they feel, what do they wear, where do they go shopping, what are their spending habits, all that stuff. So you can know then how to speak to those people. Then you can actually start to figure out, you start putting copy in, figuring out your tone based off of all of that. You can start to speak to those people, and you just do that consistently. And so it's Donald Miller's the one, if you're familiar, Business Made Simple. He's got a whole bunch of different books if you're familiar with his stuff.
I haven't seen them, no.
And you've probably, maybe I don't know if you do education stuff or you've done it, but Business Made Simple is one of them. There's the simple guiding principles on building a story brand. So the whole idea is whatever, if you have, he just gives examples of different companies. For me, it'd be like, okay, I put it on my website. I have it right here. I have really good, I map everything out. You're taking people through your potential clients, these leads, through this story. Like they're the hero. I'm not the hero. I'm the guide helping them get their achieve result. Think of any good story. So that's the whole thing. It's like this hero's journey, this story you're taking them through. It's all the brands you like and like clothing brands you bought from and stuff like that do tons of email marketing. Everyone does it. It's like you're speaking to people. So I think that's the big thing. You got to understand all of that first before just trying to throw money at we should have videos because it's like, yeah, you should, but here's why. So a lot of that then becomes like, yeah, education consulting moment for people. And a good bit of times have told people like, I don't think you should invest in video right now. Here's why, based off of all this, after asking them questions and then kind of helping them like verbalize it and process it. They're like, oh, okay. And then it's interesting because like a year down the road, like they then call me to like consult them about stuff. Because there's like that trust built and they know I'm not just trying to get their money. So that's always a good feeling. Like
Yeah,
I'm just
absolutely.
like that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
It
And
goes a
then
long way.
I think that when it comes to like that confusion around their direction when it comes to the video marketing, it's like then they throw it on one of their team members. They
Yeah.
don't hire, they don't
Yeah, they
expand.
just react and they just
Yeah.
like do this. Here's a camera. We have budget. I'm like, bro, if you literally took that 10K, broke it up over a few months, like you work with someone who like knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Versus like react. Here, just
Yeah.
give the college kid the camera. They'll just figure it out and then
Yeah. Or give their burnt out employee the camera and then they
yeah,
have just even more stuff
more on
on
their
their
plate.
plate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're just reacting to things and do this, and they're already the CEO is tired and they don't got time. And they're like, just do this. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that's like such a classic. Such a classic.
Yes.
Don't blame people. I'd probably do the same thing if I were in their shoes. If you're a business brand, I would say a good litmus test or good things to help you know you're ready is if you've already answered the questions of number one, what's the why of my business? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And then understanding your audience, who you serve, and breaking that down. Like, what are their goals? What are their pain points? You can get really nitty gritty into psychographics of what do they enjoy? Where do they shop? Where do they spend their time? You get into that to understand the people. So then you can actually understand how to communicate with them, how to speak to them effectively. You're clear, confident, like, yeah, this is what they're wrestling with. And you look like, yeah, our service, our product, whatever can help them. And then you create content off of that, whether it's photo, video, like whatever, static posts, all that is valuable. And so I would say just being clear on that, understanding that is going to be the first thing. You don't want to just throw spaghetti at the wall, like we said. Don't throw money away and have someone figure it out. You got to figure out. You as the business owner, as a team, need to be solid on that.
Yeah.
Before investing.
Absolutely. If the listener could take one thing away from this podcast, what would you say?
I think I have a few things, and we probably touched on this, but
Yeah.
don't be afraid to invest in video and photo marketing. Like there's never been a better time and more necessary time. There's a need for it.
Yeah.
But I've said this before too, don't feel like you have to overhaul everything and like pay someone $1 bajillion. Like start small. I would say the other thing to help manage expectations for people too that think, oh, once I have video and photo marketing figured out, I've got it figured out. I would say like the content piece, let's just say, we'll say video photo, that content piece is one part of the marketing pie or the puzzle, just to help manage people's expectations. Like you can't put all that pressure on, let's just say me, to like just solve all your problems. Like I am one piece of the puzzle or the pie. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your everything into just video or photo. Like go back to the drawing board. Like I said, what is your why? Like understanding, like maybe our messaging needs to be tightened up. Maybe we need to work on SEO on our website. Maybe our website needs to be redone because it's bad. Confusing, all those things. Those are all part of marketing. Maybe we need to like do more in-person events and talk to real people. All of it is important.
Yeah, absolutely. So just don't put all like your video. Me and Mackenzie Brim were talking about this with Brim Marketing, how you can't just rely on social media as your marketing strategy, for example. Like there's more to a marketing strategy than just one piece of that puzzle. And people kind of think that, oh, if I'm investing in this one piece, that'll fix all my problems. So yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah. And video, the way I've said it is, until holograms become a thing of the future, video is the closest thing we have to that, and to in person. That's all I'm trying to do is like help people communicate who they are, what they do, why that matters, and speak to their audience, build that trust so that they can help more people and everyone wins. And so it's all communication and doing it in a creative way, in a visual way, which it's a no-brainer. It has a bigger impact than just like static posts or copy.
Absolutely.
But paired with it is like when it's all cohesive, it's all part of the same ecosystem and brand. You're gonna win. Just take a bit of time, but I think you'll do something right.
Absolutely. And especially when it comes to video, it's like it's so authentic. You can bring so much authenticity to video. and it captures so much of the personality of a person, and it captures so much emotion.
Yeah.
You never know if that's AI writing it
Yeah.
or how authentic it is. And you can only get so far with a photo or a static post.
You can only use so
Yeah.
many emojis in your texts.
One action item, and then we'll do your call to action and then wrap it up in a bow. Okay, so what is one action item that the listener item can take away from this episode that they can do today that could improve the video marketing in their brand, except other than hiring a videographer? That one is, the obvious one. You should just hire a videographer. But I would say for me, go to your iPhone settings and you can turn on 4K video. Your phone is recording at high definition video by default, but you can actually go in and set it to 4K.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah.
start by that.
Oh, what tip would I give? I think I already touched on it, but people might want to hear all these lighting tips and stuff. Like that stuff is really fun. But once again, the why, like get down to your why and understand your audience. Try to get in their head. Then you'll feel confident. You can plug and play from there. I think that's probably the most important thing. Good visuals are important. They should aid. Good visuals and audio, all that should aid to the story. But you need to know like who's in the story, who are you speaking to first. I think that's a big thing. So that'll segue into our next podcast on storytelling.
Absolutely. And get that information out of your head and written down. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today, Andrew. I found it very interesting to hear your entire creative process of how you take people from the beginning to the end of that creative journey. Also, Andrew is looking for businesses that are looking to invest in a strategic content partner that can grow their brand by creating consistent video and photo content. Andrew, where can people find you?
AndrewStonePhoto.com.
Okay, awesome.
Easy.
Go check out his website. It is very built out. Has a lot of info on there too. Well, thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate having you on the podcast today.
Cheers.
Cheers. Awesome.
With nothing in my cup.